I've been in my stepson's life for over 2 decades. I met my husband when his boys were still toddlers. Adam was 5, Ben 3. Over time we grew into a blended family. We had more kids, Charles, now 20, David, 17, and our youngest, Ellie. Adam is now 28, and engaged to a lovely woman, Alice, who's 27. Everyone's been excited about their wedding this summer. Each child was given a role. Charles is the best man, David and Ben are groomsmen, and Ellie is a junior bridesmaid. We thought everything was fine, until one dinner turned everything upside down. We were celebrating my husband's birthday. All the kids and Alice were there. The wedding naturally came up, and Ellie mentioned how thrilled she was about dress shopping. She even said, "We'll find a dress for me and for you, since you're the groom's stepmom." That's when Alice gave Adam a weird look, and said, "We only need to worry about one dress." Ellie joked, "What do you expect Mom to wear, a suit or something?" And then Alice dropped the bomb, "She's not coming. We're keeping the guest list small, just close friends and family." My heart sank. They'd been to our house countless times during their engagement for holidays, dinners, visits. Not once did they mention I wouldn't be invited. Things escalated. Charles asked them point blank if they were now uninviting me or if I'd never been invited. Alice admitted I was never on the list. Adam said, "She's not my mom." That shattered me. I had raised this boy as my own since he was 5. I was there for everything: homework, school events, birthdays. I stayed home to care for all the kids while my husband worked. I never tried to replace their mother, but I loved them like they were mine. Charles, David and Ellie were outraged. They immediately said they wouldn't attend the wedding if I wasn't invited. "It's cruel," Charles said. "She raised you." My husband and I sat in silence, stunned. Adam then looked at his father and said, "So you're not coming either?" My husband replied quietly, "No, we won't." That's when Adam turned to me, "You're really going to let everyone ruin my wedding for you?" I didn't even know what to say. I just laughed out of disbelief. It was too ridiculous, too painful to respond with anything else. I stood up and told my husband I'd wait in the car. As soon as I got outside, I broke down crying. Since then, Charles, David and Ellie have completely cut off communication with Adam. Ben was confused but upset too, especially because Adam claimed I wasn't a parent. Ben is autistic, so while he doesn't fully understand the conflict, he was hurt by the tension and felt the pain of being caught in the middle. Adam later called my husband, trying to smooth things over, but he stood firm, still insisting I wasn't invited, and even demanded I apologize for laughing. My husband told him bluntly, "It's your wedding, invite who you want. But don't expect everyone to show up after you hurt someone they love." Now I'm getting messages accusing me of being petty and ruining the wedding. They're calling me the problem. But none of them none of them sacrificed their youth, career, sleep and tears to help raise the boys. None of them were there when he cried from a breakup or scraped his knees or needed help studying. Just me. A commenter asked if Adam's mom was behind this. Truth is, we've never had a good relationship with her. She was never fond of me being involved in the kids' lives. According to her, I overstepped, but if you ask what that means, her answers are petty. She went to school events, she helped with homework, she cared too much. She'd thank me one day for loving her kids, then yell at my husband the next for letting me be too close to them. She was hard to deal with, often unpredictable, so eventually we stopped trying to appease her, and just focused on building a healthy family. I even went to therapy for coping strategies, anything to handle her better. We raised these kids together. My husband worked nights and weekends, his job required it. I handled school pickups, dinners, bedtime. Especially during the weekends we had the boys. I tried to make sure they felt safe, supported and unconditionally loved. So being told I wasn't even family was like being erased. Yes, their biological mom is invited, her husband too, and yet, me, the one who stayed up with sick kids, the one who cut birthday cakes and drove to soccer practices, is not welcome. My own extended family was invited, my parents, my brother, cousins. But when they learned I wasn't included, many of them backed out. "If she's not family, then what are we?" they asked. In total, about 20 guests have now withdrawn from the 60-person guest list. And that number might still grow. That's where we're at, stuck in this emotional limbo, wondering how it all came to this. Ben was especially shaken. As someone on the autism spectrum, he doesn't grasp every nuance, but he understood the most painful part. Adam said I wasn't his parent. That stung him. He was also upset that his siblings were all fighting. We sat him down and reassured him. I told him I loved him dearly, that none of this was his fault, and no matter what I wasn't going anywhere. I reminded him that even if he chose to go to the wedding, we would still love him. That helped. Honestly, I think Ben will still attend. He loves cake and dance. He seems okay now. He hasn't even asked about Adam again. People kept asking, why would Adam do this now after 20 peaceful years? Why exclude me? And why so suddenly? The answer eventually revealed itself. Ellie, bless her heart, texted Alice on Easter Sunday. I'm not sure exactly what she said, but whatever it was pushed Alice to open up. She revealed the truth. Alice's parents had recently encouraged her and Adam to reach out to us and finally explain what was going on. Meanwhile, Ben was spending Easter with his bio. That evening, she started blowing up my husband's phone after Ben mentioned the argument. My husband answered one of her calls, but she was screaming so loudly he hung up immediately. He texted her calmly, the siblings argued, but everything is fine, we'll speak with Ben when he's back. But her texts kept coming, filled with bitterness. And just like that, the puzzle came together. Biam was the root of all this. That Monday, Adam met with Charles and finally came clean. Charles texted us afterward and asked if it was okay to bring Adam over. We agreed. When Adam walked in, he looked devastated, dark circles, red eyes. He broke down crying almost immediately. Through tears he admitted everything. He and Alice had been trying to mend things with his biological mom. At first it was simple, but as the wedding grew in size from 60 to over 100 guests, the cost ballooned. They were struggling financially. During a visit, Alice casually mentioned the situation to Biam, who quickly offered to help. It started with small expenses, then grew. In return she began making demands. One of them was that I not attend the wedding. Adam admitted he gave in, not because he wanted to, but because it felt easier to disappoint me than to risk another explosion from his mom. He figured I'd forgive him, and she wouldn't. It was cowardly, he said, and he regretted it deeply. Alice's parents were furious when they found out the role Biam had played. They were even more upset at how she influenced the wedding decisions. They've now stepped in to help cover what Biam had paid for. My husband and I agreed to help too, though not financially. We agreed to meet again with Adam and Alice later in the week to begin truly working through the damage. The hurt is still there, but beneath it is something worse, betrayal, not just of me, but of the children who defended me, of the family who treated Adam as their own, of the love that raised him. Still, we decided to try again. A week later, Adam and Alice returned. We'd taken time to read every message and comment people had written online. Many of them mirrored our own thoughts. We laid it all out. We love you both. We forgive you, but forgiveness doesn't erase responsibility. You need to own what you allowed to happen, how you let your mother disrespect me, how you stood by as I was erased from your life. We also made it clear we wouldn't be paying for anything. This was a mess they created. They had to clean it up. I don't know the full details of Adam's final conversation with his mom, but apparently she remained calm and even agreed with much of what he said. That alone raised suspicions. Regardless, Adam and Alice made a decision. They cancelled the wedding. They got most of their money back, and began repaying what Biam had covered. When Adam tried to give her a check, she exploded. He won't talk about what she said, only that it was vicious. They've since gone no contact. A few days later they invited us out to dinner. When we arrived, Alice's parents and siblings were already there. That's when we realized it wasn't just a dinner, they had eloped. They invited us to the courthouse and let us be a part of their new beginning. It was small, beautiful, and meaningful. 3 days later, I was running errands when Ellie called in a panic. Biam was at our house, pounding on the door, screaming. I told Ellie to lock herself in a room and call 911. Then I phoned my husband and raced home. By the time I got there, the police had arrived and detained her. She hadn't managed to break in, but she'd damaged the front door and part of the siding. And her words, God, the things she screamed were beyond vile. She yelled that it was my fault. Adam wouldn't talk to her. She said I was stealing her kid. And worst of all, she screamed something I'll never forget. Loving my kids won't bring back the ones you lost. That last line shattered me. We had a stillbirth years ago, between David and Ellie, a baby we mourned with everything in us. She knew that, and still she weaponized. That level of cruelty is beyond anything I've ever experienced. After that, I stopped listening. I just watched her be placed in the back of a police car. Some charges we declined to pursue, others the state will continue with regardless. She's out on bail now, but we have a restraining order. Her own family has locked things down. Her brother works in the same department that arrested her, and even he said she crossed every possible line. We haven't heard from her since. We now coordinate Ben's visits through his stepdad. That's how we prefer it. We're healing slowly. Adam and Alice are working on rebuilding trust. It's not perfect. It probably never will be, But there's hope. A Redditor commented that just because someone raises a child with love, doesn't mean that child will always honor them. Sadly, they were. But sometimes when the truth comes out and apologies are real, some of that love finds its way back, and that's what we're trying to hold on to.